Is behind a wall, so I'll move swiftly on from that photo. I just want to talk about really what your role is and what the roles of the other individuals within the team of Neighbourhood Watch and what they do. And I will run through this quite quickly, I promise, because I hope it's quarter to 9. And if you remind me, and if you want a story at the end about policing and the reality of it, remind me and I'll tell you a little story. The idea of Neighbourhood Watch is a tiered structure. You've heard from the borough coordinator and the individual that represents Epsom Ewell. And above that, there are individuals that represent the county nationally. Below that, however, are everybody else, obviously, the people that represent areas, the people that represent streets and individual watches, and then those individuals who are members. And the essence of all this is the wonderful pyramid, the triangle. The most important part of that triangle is the base. It's the people that you have individually on your streets and as coordinators, and those people who are actually taking part, watching the streets that you're actively taking part in. So the roles, if you like, are really straightforward. And I'll start off with the area coordinator. And yes, I am actively recruiting, so if anybody wants to be an area coordinator, see me afterwards. The area coordinator is an individual that, if you like, sits in between the borough coordinator and the street coordinators. They're a filter, and it's part of this two-way conversation again. They're the individuals that take some of the stuff from the borough, what's happening in the county, and filter it down as to their individual areas and to say, this is for my area, this is important to my area, this is what I'm going to say to the street coordinators, to the coordinators in my local area. The idea is quite simply to filter the information so those individuals that are on the watches, that are actually out there looking out for us in your street, don't get bombarded with thousands and thousands of emails, thousands of pages of information. I don't want everybody to have encyclopedias of stuff that they have to read through. And each coordinator filters that information. That's the idea. If you as an area coordinator or a street coordinator decide that what we send you isn't right for your road, don't send it out. It's that straightforward. And there'll be things that you think, you know what, that's nothing to do with me, that's nothing to do with my street, that's not what they want to hear. Don't tell them. That's your role. And I'm more than happy to accept that information which I may think is important, you don't. That's fine. Because you will know your streets better than I do. And I don't want to give massive amounts of information which then turn everybody off, and the reality of that is then nobody looks out for their street because everybody thinks, do you know what, I can't cope with all this information anymore. Street signage. When I moved into my house 10 years ago, I had a little sticker on the window that said, I'm an active member of Neighbourhood Watch. About 2 years ago, I'll be honest, I looked at that rather faded sticker again, and I thought, do you know what? I'm not an active member of Neighbourhood Watch. So I went round and I found my Neighbourhood Watch coordinator. And I said to them, I'm really sorry, I haven't been an active member, but I'd like to be. Can I help? Kind of a mistake, because I then got bombarded with stuff because I'm a police officer. But I'm delighted now to say, with pride, I'm an active member of Neighbourhood Watch. The street signage that you see, and I think there's an example down there, and if not, it's around the room, is important. It's important for you as individuals. It's also important for those individuals driving up and down the street who are intent on committing crime. If they see that, it is a deterrent. And if you talk to individuals, as we do on occasions in prisons, those individuals convicted of burglary, convicted of car crime, and acquisitive theft of sheds and things, they will talk about looking at a neighbourhood watch, looking at that environment, and scanning it. And one of the things they look for is, does it have an active neighbourhood watch? They'll call them all sorts of things, curtain twitchers and all sorts of other bits and pieces. The reality is, if you've got an active neighbourhood watch, rather than an inactive one, they are more likely to go elsewhere. And that's what I want. Ideally out the county. And it's not very far. So, how do you manage how do you manage Neighbourhood Watch? How do you look at that? How do you work it? That's individual taste. Some of you prefer the telephone, some of you prefer leaflets, some of you prefer email. I have a Twitter account that I can't use very well, but if anybody wants to follow me on Twitter, they can do now. It's quite scary. We will all link together in whatever format you choose. We will make it work for you. That's our role, that's our job. If you decide that you can't work with email and you'd rather have a telephone call, we will make that telephone call. If you decide you want a letter, we will provide you with the information in written form. However you want to work your street, we will work with you to make that happen. That's a promise. If you find for some reason that's not happening for you, and it isn't working for you, talk to me, talk to Dan, talk to Graham, Chris, anybody you like within my organisation. And I promise you we will do our level best to make it work for you in some way. That's how important we take Neighbourhood Watch. And I certainly, when I joined this team 14, 15 months ago, one of the things that I wanted to do was create an active environment of communities, of neighbourhood watches, that really made a difference to crime and criminality. And it will do. If you make it work for you, it will work for us collectively. It's question time. Would you like the story? I'll tell you the story. Once upon a time, as a young PC, I worked in Kent. And one evening, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, single crewed, I decided to drive the Pilgrim's Way. I don't know whether anybody knows the Pilgrim's Way, but it's a lovely little track in Canterbury Tales and other things. And as I was driving along, I noticed up ahead a car with its lights off. Well, that's what I do for a living. I'm going to stop this car and I'm going to talk to them. So I pulled up behind them, and there were 4 people in this car. And on the back seat of this car is a little VW Polo. I could see a set of golf clubs. Odd, I thought. I'm going to talk to these people about this set of golf clubs. So I approached the driver. And this 17-year-old lad said to me, "All right, Gov." "Yeah, fine." "What are you doing?" "You're in the middle of the Pilgrim's Way. It's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You've got a set of golf clubs." "Ah," he says, "me and my mates, we play golf." 3 o'clock in the morning? "Oh yeah, we like to practice." "Okay. What, are you good?" I said, "Oh yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We play all the time." "Oh, okay. How do you find the balls at night?" "Oh, we've got torches." And he showed me a torch. I said, "Okay, what's your handicap?" He looked at me quizzically and replied, "Don't you effing call me handicapped." Shortly after that conversation ended, he was under arrest on suspicion of burglary. I apologise for using effing, but it adds to the story. And he did say that. About 15 minutes later, a car pulled up behind mine. And it was a guy that lived on the Pilgrim's Way. And he looked at me and I said, "Can I help?" And he said, "Yes, you can. I've just been burgled. And I've lost my prized set of golf clubs." I was like, "I can help you there, sir. I can tell you I have 4 persons in custody. And are these your golf clubs?" I tell you what, in terms of customer satisfaction, you can't get much better than that. Being a police officer at times is a gift, and thankfully criminals are largely stupid. Otherwise I would never catch them. The reality is, though, that I couldn't do this job without the community behind me. That's why you're here. We're all here to answer your questions. Any questions? So.
Simple question. I gather that the reason we haven't all as yet got our signs in our street is financial. Now that has been partly resolved. Can you give me any idea when we'll all have the signs in our street? So that our street is national, as a neighbourhood watch street?
I can answer that in part. Do you want to start?
Yeah, they should. We've just had the proof one, which we've got tonight, which I'm going to give to Jackie to make sure Bogans are happy, we're happy with it. Then Monday it should go to print, so by next Wednesday we should have all 70, which means we should get all ours. For all our roads we need about 100. and with the sponsorship and the ones we've already got ready, in about a week and a half's time, so 2 weeks' time, they should be up, basically. All right.
The other part to that is the financial side of things. In total, we need about £2,000 to get everything, stickers, signs, and everything put up. Budgeons have done a fantastic job in sponsoring a great number of those, and we'll reuse the ones in the locality that we can use that aren't totally faded in other areas. I've also, this evening, had a conversation with at least one councillor, and I'm looking to the others, because obviously they have a pot of money. Eva, did you want to comment on your potential pot of money? I like putting people on the spot.
County Council, sorry, yes.
Hello, it's Eva Kington. I'm County Councillor, which covers Oriel, Cunnington and Newell Court, but I'd love to come to Stoneleigh as well. We were approached by a FRU. County councils have an allowance, not personally, but money that we can give to charities, local groups and communities. Could we provide some money for signs? And each of the 5 county members for the area, David Wood in Stoneleigh, myself in Oriel and the others, I think we've given £428 each, which is your £2,000, which hopefully means you know, that you're going to get all the signs that you need. I'm not going to come around and personally inspect all of them in my area, but it's the kind of thing, again, it's a way in which we as your local councillors can work with the police and you to make sure this continues to be a lovely place to live.
Love putting people on the spot. Thank you. Thank you to the County Council and indeed the Borough Councillors who have helped with all that, and also to Budgeons, a real public-private partnership. I know that an email went out to many of you in relation to asking for £1. For those individuals that have donated, what I propose to do is to put that money into the pot and then have that as kind of a neighbourhood watch fund should we need spare signs. Individuals, for example, stickers, they're about £87 each, the stickers. Individuals that join and want a sticker for their window have that little pot of money. It won't be a great amount of money to add to that. Equally, because it's your watches, if you don't feel that that's appropriate, you don't want to send that email out, that's not a problem. It's absolutely down to you as individuals to decide whether that's right for you. But I'm delighted that we've got that fund together, and thanks to Budgeons and the county and everybody else. It's public money well spent and private money well spent. Thank you. Any other questions?
You're talking about early response, quick response teams, which I presume need a car. How many cars do we have? Oh, sorry. You're talking about fast response. That's obviously involving cars.
Yes.
How many cars do we actually have available to Surrey at weekends and the week? Is there a difference? And then how many of them are covering our area? They can be the far end of Surrey when somebody's needed, and I don't know how many we have. I thought perhaps you could inform us.
I'll do my best. I can't answer where the cars are right now, obviously, but I can tell you that for the cluster that Superintendent Bristow is responsible for, the boroughs, if you like, of the 4 boroughs on the eastern side of the county, there is a response team that is normally around 20 to 30 individuals. They have between 15 and 20 cars, and they are separated throughout the county. The idea is that they call in individuals depending on demand. So if, for example, we get an influx of demand in the eastern side of the county, then Guildford will start providing vehicles to sort of the edges, if you like, rather like the fire service operate. They will start to sort of filter in this way. We can also, if it really is very busy and we need it, call on our Metropolitan Police colleagues. I have access to their radio networks within 3 or 4 seconds by pressing buttons, and I can certainly get people, if I need them urgently, I can get people urgently into the area. The response times that we guarantee, if you like, that you can expect, if you dial 999, you should expect somebody within 15 minutes. That sounds a long time, and when you're dialing 999, the chances are it is a long time for you. That's an absolute maximum. Normally, we're there much, much quicker than that. The average response time for this area is about 8 to 9 minutes, and sometimes it's a matter of a few seconds. We also, when that 999 call comes out or the 101 call comes out, they can also call on units locally. So if Dan's working, if I'm working, I will respond. I have a car. Many of us are trained to use 999 vehicles, if you like, on response driving. You have to be specially trained for that. And I have 10, 11 vehicles in the borough, which my team use as well. So I have 11 vehicles and 44 staff operating not 24/7, but not far off. They have, in terms of the eastern cluster, about 20 to 30 vehicles which they can call upon, vans, cars, and other things. You also have motorway units, there's a helicopter, there's all that stuff which we can call upon, and they're not very far away. They're never more than 9 minutes away, the helicopter.
Is that cover existing over the weekend as well?
Yeah, 24/7, 7 days a week.
Is there a plan to do another mail drop to addresses? I'm the coordinator for Bradstock Road, and I've only had about 10 responses from people. So I didn't know.
Yeah, if I could just add to that, if you feel that your street hasn't been well responded to, please email Sam, and we'll actually go out again and do the full street again. That's what we're paid to do, to be out and about, no problems at all.
On the leaflet it said if you want to get involved with the neighbourhood watch, and I think quite a few people have probably taken that the wrong way, and they feel they've got to get involved with it rather than just sort of emailing me.
Yeah, I can add to that there. This has definitely been work in progress. We're always tweaking it. This is very, very early stages within what we're trying to do. So anything you think that will make it better in the long run, let us know.
At the moment, what we've done, because we've had a lot of roads to do, we've done a leaflet drop to. We've got a neighbourhood with door to door. We've got a coordinator for the road, and then because of the logistics of the amount, we then put a leaflet through all the doors of the roads. And I know a lot haven't got that many responses. So if you email us back, what we will do, we can go to those roads and then door to door knock to sell it a bit more. But it was just a logistics of trying to get the whole area covered first, and then the roads that we haven't got a lot, please tell us, and then we will concentrate on those roads to make them a stronger road. Okay?
Graham, actually, sorry, to follow on from that, we did discuss a while ago whether we would put lists of the reps by road in the Residents Association magazines as another way, because they also go through the doors saying, you know, who do you want to contact? But I don't know if you still feel that that's the right way forward.
Yeah, I think we'll let the inspector answer that one about freedom of information and passing it out.
I love the Freedom of Information Act. The essence of personal data is, of course, it needs permissions and things to put out. If you are happy as individuals to put that out, then I can put those out. What I can't do is to say a blanket, we will put everybody's out. But if individuals are happy to put that information out into the public realm, then of course we can do that. The danger with it is that then stays in the public realm. Once it's on the internet, once it's out there on somebody's fridge, in 5 years' time, you may get an email to say, I'm really interested in Neighbourhood Watch, and you're busy enjoying your retirement in Malaga or wherever you may be. I'm more than happy to do it for those individuals that are happy to put it out. It does have consequences, and people need to be mindful of that. Anything else? Excellent. I think we're done. Benny, did you want to close things? There is a last slide.
I have not been given permission to get back on stage, but here I am. Right, looking at this message, thank you message, I think it's only fair that we, members of the Neighbourhood Watch, all those who are here today, should put our thanks to the wonderful team who've given all their valuable time supporting us for our great venture of making our homes and our towns the safest place. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for a fabulous team. And our superintendent has produced a wonderful presentation that spells it all out for all of us. Thank you very much.